get rid of things like early bird and constantly sending the same email with the same register now, register now, register now. The innovative organizations don't do those things anymore. They don't do it. They just don't constantly have the same message and beat on their members for you to come. And in fact, what you want to see is that members start to harass you, the association, like, hey, when are you going to have registration coming? Because we're really interested in attending the event, okay? That's what you want to see, instead of the other way, which is kind of beg, borrowing, and stealing members to come to the event. But again, just backing up and trying to recapping where we are now. Typically, and this is kind of a self-check to say, is this you? Is this you in your world within your association? Do you have these different departments sitting there? And I kind of put in, it depends on your association, but if we really looked at the macro level, the size of the circle is kind of also typically the size of the budget and the revenue that different department brings in. So, if you're sitting there in events, lots of times the event people have their own budget and their own ability to go outside and do whatever they want in terms of communication, et cetera. Drives the internal communications people up the wall. The publications people have the same ability to do that. The advocacy government relations people, they're off there running, who knows what they're doing. They're kind of always a separate, side entity. Component relations sort of involved in membership. It's sort of their own thing, sort of attached and often forgotten about. And then you've got marketing communications, and you're kind of just sitting there in this little bubble, and you're kind of running around constantly trying to be a part of these other departments, but nobody really, most of the time of the surveys I know I've taken and the people that I talk to, oftentimes you don't really feel like you're kind of the central part that you could be, and you're not really delivering the value you could be, because no one is seeing you as an integral part of the overall delivery of their product. And why? Because the events people see that their product is events, the publications people see that their product perhaps is the book or the magazine, etc., right? And they're looking at you to just basically same thing, do tactical level, send the email, send the newsletter, get the communication out, pull the list, etc. And most of the time it's still not an integral part of the actual overall structure. So some of the stuff to self-check, and again, this is changing, but it's still very new. You're seeing in the association market this realization, much as we saw maybe 15 years ago when associations went through and finally said, you know what, this technology thing seems like we need more than a webmaster and more than the person who runs around to make sure the computer is okay. It's actually pretty strategic. We need to start installing, chief technology officers and CIOs. And what you're seeing is that now organizations are now going through the same thing in marketing. And they're starting to say, this thing is kind of integral to everything we do.